Ghana's transport sector is bedeviled with a number of challenges. While many struggle to have access to transport options, commuters say the issue of spending a lot of productive hours before being transported to various destinations is an issue that needs serious attention. Speaking at his professorial inaugural lecture at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, KNUST, Professor Michael Pokubuensi called on the government to, as a matter of urgency, implement a public transport service scheme to sanitize Ghana's transport sector by checking transport costs and improve access.
There's also an urgent need for the government of Ghana, through the Ministry of Transport, to seriously implement public transport service schemes as one of the best ways to stabilize transport costs and particularly minimize the financial stress on lower income people, improve access, affordability, and mobility needs of the people. The case of Dar es Salaam, our friends in Tanzania, should inspire us as a country. Professor Chair, distinguished guests, Ghana as a country needs better integration of transport options, including modes for active travel. The Ministry of Transport and Roads and Highways must ensure that newly developing road infrastructure projects, as a matter of priority, must be integrated by including the infrastructure needed to support cycling and walking in our cities. Aside from the health benefits associated with being active, it will in the long run reduce government expenditure on healthcare as well as provide a sustainable means of travel for most of our people.
Professor Pokubuensi also urged the Ministry of Transport and the Land Use and Spatial Authority to work to implement an integrated land use and transport planning regime to comprehensively help address various transport challenges confronting Ghanaians.
The Ministry of Transport and the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority should work to implement an integrated land use and transport planning regime that has improving access as the overriding priority. Historically, the planning regime in Ghana has not been able to address all our concerns, primarily because of its weaknesses in managing urban growth. As shown by several studies, unfettered and unplanned growth leads to unsustainable outward expansion, and this pushes the limited public transport infrastructure and urban opportunities further from the poor. And what that means is that the prevailing accessibility challenges and the possibility of worsening these challenges begins with addressing the problem of uncontrolled urban expansion. There is therefore the need to redevelop our informal settlements into sustainable communities, where access to basic socio-economic facilities abound, thus reducing the need to travel substantially. What this means is that if you live in a neighborhood where all the essentials are available, then you don't have to travel. You only travel when it's essential. The Ministry of Works and Housing, Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development, and the Land Use and Spatial Planning Authority should drive this process.
He further proposed what he calls local transport plans to spearhead the development of a sustainable and inclusive system that seeks to prioritize travel time, reduce travel costs, among others. He called on local authorities to explore the possibility of partnering with the private sector to provide improved bus services.
In addition to the preparation of the district medium-term plans and structure plans, which our MMDAs are engaging, I propose the preparation of local transport plans. Local transport plans, Professor Chair, distinguished guests, are strategic documents outlining policies for sustainable transport in our local areas. The aim of the local transport plans should be the development of a sustainable and inclusive transportation system that seeks to ensure travel time savings, reductions in travel costs, accessibility improvement, and reduce the negative impact of transport on the environment. The fourth recommendation is that the seeming lack of involvement of local authorities in the provision of public transport services has resulted in users of public transport services being captive and at the mercy of private operators. To help ensure that the needs of the traveling public are met and the interests protected, I recommend Authorities begin to explore the possibility of partnering with the private sector to provide improved bus service within strategic transport planning that is age and disability friendly should be the way for us to go and must be spearheaded by the Ministry of Local Government, Decentralization and Rural Development.
It's obvious that Ghana faces many challenges with respect to the transport sector, and as such, government and relevant stakeholders have been urged to find ways of coming up with drastic interventions to address this. For Citi News, I'm Edward Upon Marfo, KNUST, Kumasi.
You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still ahead. Deputy Lands Minister cautious about inaugurating community mining scheme. We'll bring you the details shortly. Do stay with us.